Fair enough.
So I guess my 10 now.
No, you're. Oh yeah, you're 10.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So at my 10, I have Eddie Guerrero. Uh, I feel like it's another reason that like watching WCW kind of elevated him for me because I was watching him in those like peak cruiserweight days against like Ultimo Drago and Ultimo Dragon and Ray and Dean Malenko and all those guys, and that was like me and Cameron were like, I'll tell you, like besides Goldberg, those cruiserweights were like our favorite part of WCW. Like they were killing it. Billy Kidman, all of them, and Eddie Guerrero was probably him and Jericho were the two like forefronts of those guys. And Eddie just always had that charisma that you just couldn't teach. And then that showed even more when he came to WWE. And I feel like his stuff with China is like so underrated. And then when it sucks because like right before he got let go the first time, he was like doing this thing where he was like trying to get in with the Hardys to like steal Lita from them. Dude,
Oh,
I'm
I
telling you, if you
remember.
go back, yeah, if you will go and watch that period again, there's like so much stuff you kind of forget about. But yeah, and then his like run when he came back, I'm still like but it like haunts me to this day that we didn't get the Stone Cold Eddie feud that they were setting up.
That would
It
have
was
been
gonna be
sick.
so good. But yeah, Eddie's just a man, and he's hilarious. He's got charisma, fucking that maybe more than anybody, and it's just like was natural. Like he didn't even have to like really work for it. It just was part of him. And then like you said, his in-ring work is like almost untouchable, if not just you can equal it. And then that win against Brock for the belt, just crazy. Yeah, I feel like Eddie has. It's okay if he's not top 10, but he's definitely got to be top 20.
Got him at 16. You got him at 10. That's not that far apart.
Yeah, I just thought because like you always talk about him like a lot, so I thought it'd
I
be top 10
love,
for you.
I love Eddie, but I just like it's so long ago, man. Like how long would he die in 2006?
5.
5. So all these guys have like almost 20 more years of stuff I can like relate to, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's like I said, like I feel like if you were watching like those cruiserweight WCW things, you'd like probably have him a little higher. But
Ed, Eddie is my highest dead person.
Sounds
okay,
so bad.
Why does
I
that sound so bad?
don't know, just the way you worded it.
He's my
All right,
highest deceased wrestler in my top 50.
any Eddie stuff to add, Robert?
Uh, I think I lean a little bit more towards Jordan with kind of the placement. I think because of what happened, unfortunately, his career being cut short, we didn't really get to see like what could have been compared
Yeah,
to some people who did have a much longer and debatably better career from what he had. But he definitely made the most out of what he was given
yeah,
and was able to give to the wrestling world.
Dude,
fair.
if Eddie was alive right now, he'd be the like greatest manager of all time. You imagine if
Yeah,
he was like with Dom, dude, he'd be like what 60 now, like
or if he was
55.
like the for real like LWO leader, like return LWO leader.
I could just picture him like cheating in such clever ways as a manager. He'd be like, oh, freaking Eddie, man. you know,
I'm pretty sure he'd be like 65 right now.
65. You think he'd be wrestling though? Like,
No,
oh,
no,
I was like,
just because you said 55, but I'm pretty sure he was already 40 something when he died.
all right, yeah, you go again. 9.
Oh, me again.
Yeah.
All right, number 9. This is where I put Triple H. I feel like
Oh,
it's
baby,
almost
it's
impossible
He was
to not have
38
him.
triple.
when he died.
Oh, 38. Okay, so he'd still be 60 something. No.
He'd be
Oh, you
what
were close
50?
actually. He'd be 50.
56.
56.
Yeah.
Dang, I
Oh,
was
dang,
like
you were
right on
one
the
year off.
money.
I swear he was like 40 something. But anyway, Triple H is just, I think, top 3 heel of all time. Maybe only behind Vince. Uh, he also is super good in the ring. I love a lot of his moveset. One of the best spine busters. His flying knees were like awesome. That like drop down knee. The
Yeah.
pedigree's top 5. That's like one of the best finishers ever. Like that's a move that I feel like man, that would fucking hurt. Especially
when the arms
back
are
before.
hooked.
Yeah, dude, like you can't even guard yourself. and then like his promos, a lot of them were kind of repetitive back in the day. But then like, I mean, the factions he was part of, DX and Evolution, 2 top 3 or 5 ever. And he was like the leader of both of them. And I think when he was the leader of DX, I think that's the best iteration of DX.
I'd agree.
Yeah. So, and then like, you know, how much I love NXT. When he was running NXT, was like, honestly, that was probably my favorite wrestling company ever. Was that time of NXT. So, and you gotta give Triple H most of the credit for that. I mean, the wrestlers, of course, too, but like he was like the mastermind. And then I feel like even now, WWE's on fire, and he's like the guy leading the train. So it's like, I feel like Triple H has to be top 10.
I don't hate it.
I
19's still
totally,
good though.
I totally agree with you, Christian. I I can't think of any other wrestler that has contributed as much to wrestling, to modern wrestling, as much as Triple H has.
Yeah, exactly.
How about
Outside of
Regal?
the ring. Well, like there's a lot of older guys that have helped backstage and trained, but Triple H has been so involved even before he stopped being in the ring. And what he did with NXT to bring in all the new guys, he got NXT UK going. He did the Cruiserweight Classic. He put together the Mae Young Classic. He did a lot of stuff to help promote the younger generation of wrestling and
great
get
points.
it to where he is now. And like most of the current WWE roster went through him in NXT. So
Right.
Great
it's also
points.
kind of funny seeing how you guys did Triple H and Shawn. It seems like there's always a big debate between those two as to who was better.
It's a good debate to
And just
have.
seeing, yeah, and just seeing like you guys each had one in front of the other.
Yeah.
All right, 9. Are we good on Triple H?
Yeah. Yep.
My 9. You guys know how I feel about him. A year ago, he was in my Mount Rushmore for favorite wrestlers. It's the funniest wrestler of all time,
Our truth.
Christian.
Top 10 Christian?
I
Oh
love
my
Christian, bro. It's my
yeah,
favorite.
I mean, you've always talked about Christian, so I shouldn't be that surprised, but I
He
guess I
has
kind of forgot about him until now.
one of the greatest songs. He's really innovative when it comes to ladder matches. I think he gets slept on a little bit.
Yeah.
He's a great supporting guy. No one has like ever had a bad match with Christian. And like I said, man, this dude is so hilarious, bro. The Edge and Christian podcast alone probably pushed him up to top 10. He probably would have been like somewhere between 40 and 25-ish, somewhere in that area. But dude, when I see Christian outside of the ring is hilarious, bro. I freaking love Christian.
Fair enough.
That line he said to Jungle Boy, harsh.
I mean, at least we could both agree. Wait. No, I don't think we did both agree on that. You haven't had. Never mind. But yeah, I'll admit, especially like rewatching a lot of stuff from back then, Christian is like super underrated.
I love that dude, man.
Like he was that thing I was talking about with DDP. He was like the guy DDP was trying to mentor into having more of a positive attitude. Dude, Christian killed that shit. When he would like try to imitate the smile, he's like, it was so funny. He killed it.
Also,
And
at
then
that time, when they were playing poker with the APA and he lost, he started like having a hissy fit. He's like, damn
Yeah,
it.
because that's what DDP was trying to like stop him from doing, was
Yeah.
like having that attitude.
That
Yeah.
was so hilarious. Anything, Robert?
I feel like one thing with Christian is like Edge and Christian and the Hardys were kind of the same way. Jeff and Edge seemed to get the bigger push and more popularity, whereas Matt and Christian kind of had to take the back seat and really fight for it, and ended up being a lot more underrated than they probably should have been, which I think would put them a lot lower to most people.
Yeah. Another thing on that, especially like with like the Hardys not being as good as like we remembered as a tag team. I remember as a kid always being pissed, like, man, why do the Hardys never win? Edge and Christian always win. And then like now I'm like, I get why they wanted Edge and Christian to always win. They were clearly ahead of the rest of them. Like,
Yeah. All right, I'll go again. Number 8, my last female, my favorite female wrestler of all time. Dramatic pause. Alexa Bliss.
I knew that was coming.
wow.
Even though
Okay.
stupid Alexa always hears my name when I say her, or always starts talking when I say her name. I love Alexa Bliss, dude. She's like the best heel female. Shut up! Oh my god, she's like the best female heel in my opinion. She's little, and she like instead of that being like something against her, she made it like work for her.
Yeah.
And bro, I mean, who doesn't like looking at Alexa Bliss? And then her being on
No,
up,
I feel you.
her being on up down too with like the World of Warcraft stuff, not World of Warcraft, Dungeons and Dragons when they were playing that actually made me click into those videos, and then I was like, man, I actually want to try Dungeons and Dragons, and she like kind of started that, so that's why I gave her my top woman spot, which is 8. But if I'm being fair, I mean, I guess technically I like Christian, Batista, John Cena, Stone Cold more than her, but
Yeah, I get you. I will say if we did like an all women's one, Alexa would be pretty high on mine. And like if it wasn't for Bailey's NXT run, Alexa might be higher for me than Bailey, but also Bailey's heel turn really helped her. But I've always really liked. I feel like the Bray Wyatt stuff, as much as I liked it for Bray, I liked it at
killed
first.
Alexa mentally.
I liked
Oh,
it.
yeah,
I
that
liked
really
it
hurt.
I liked it at first for Alexa, but then they just drug it on, and then she was like still that after he left, and yeah, it was just weird. And now they were like gonna try to bring it back again, and then she got like pregnant or whatever. So
the whole group fell apart.
yeah, but yeah, I like Alexa a lot. I think she's really good, and she's good at like any role they give her.
Surprised you didn't have.
For not
Paige.
having
Sorry, go ahead, Robert.
I only liked Paige as like look. Like she wasn't like my favorite like wrestler or nothing like that.
for not having much pro wrestling experience, Alexa Bliss has caught on to it really, really well. Being going up through NXT, and over the years she's gotten a lot better in the ring. She started out pretty rough, and she does play a really good heel character. So it's definitely up there.
All right, Christian.
All right, my number 8. I feel like when I was younger, he would have been top 3. But as I got older, I kind of started to see that he only had like a good 2-3 year great run, but he's still one of the best ever. I got The Rock at number 8. He had, some of the best moments ever, some of the best promos ever, but like as I rewatched, most of those happened in like a 3-year period. Because then he kind of lost a lot of his coolness, which is kind of weird to say. Like he wasn't as like cool or suave, and like his voice got like more high pitched, and he wasn't.
Why does that matter?
Because it didn't sound as cool. Like it wasn't like, I don't know. Like when The Rock used to talk, he had you like invested. But don't get me wrong, he still had good promos after that. But a lot of it was the same stuff, like testicles and all this other stuff. Like he would just try to say like shock things to get the crowd to be like, oh, he said a bad word or something. It wasn't like catchy good stuff. Like, dude, one of his most underrated promos was to Billy Gunn, and he was like, he said, Billy Gunn, if The Rock hit you, he'd kill you. And if he missed, the wind from the shot would give you pneumonia and you'd die anyway. Dude, that killed me. That's like one of his best promos, and no one talks about it. But then, like, if it was like 2002 Rock and he was cutting a promo on Billy Gunn, he'd be like, oh, Billy Gunn has no testicles. And then everyone would be like, oh. That's like what he said. Or he would say, like, he had like what in the blue hell are you doing? And like, you sick freak.
You sick
That was like his.
I hate that
phrase
one.
after.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hate that one.
Freak!
He just became like
sick
less cool. And
Freak!
I feel like the
Freak!
fans knew it. That's
Sick
why they like chanted for Hogan and chanted for Brock.
freak!
Just because like they knew he lost something. Don't get me wrong, he's still good. And then when he reinvented himself though as Hollywood Rock, he was like super good again. Like,
I love Hollywood Rock.
I feel like he started cutting like old promos, like because his promos back in the day were a little heelish, even when he was like a face. And then when he became a heel again, he was able to do that again, and he was like cool and funny again. So I feel like as a heel, The Rock was like way better than a face. But I mean, he was one of the best ever, and that like 2 to 3 year run that he had is like one of the greatest periods of wrestling ever. So it's hard not to put him top 10.
I agree with a lot of that. I mean, you got him top 10, so it's not like you were making the argument like you had him at 36 or something, bro.
Well, no, but that's just because like he's in most people's Mount Rushmore, like top 3 or whatever.
He's still coming for me, so I don't have much to say.
Robert.
I would kind of put Rock and Stone Cold in kind of equal footing for me. It seems like whenever I hear anything about them, it's more their promo work or a specific moment. I feel like you don't really hear a whole lot about their actual matches, except maybe their WrestleMania 17 match is the main one that I can think of, and both of them are in that match.
That's not my favorite one of the three.
But like that's like the main match I think of for either of them. I can't think of very many other matches. It seems like everything is either a promo or a segment.
How about
Kinda
Rock and Hogan?
set them.
Or Rock and Cena.
Yeah, those are good
Yeah.
ones.
I mean, Stone Cold and Bret, Stone Cold and Shawn, Stone Cold.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Okay.
yep, that's about it.
All right. Fair. So is it me or is it you?
You. We're snaking.
Okay. So 7. I know he's a lot higher to me than probably most people. But 7, I got Samoa Joe. That dude, man, like you were saying earlier, his promo skills are almost unmatched. Like, he can rip anybody apart. He doesn't even have to, like, just, like, off from the head. Like, he doesn't even have to, like, have it written or nothing. And then, like, in WWE, he might have been a little past his prime, but he still was having great matches. NXT, he was having great matches. But, man, TNA Samoa Joe was just a different animal. Like, oh man, his feud with Kurt, those matches were great. With Christian, his matches were great. Of course, AJ, Christopher Daniels, and like big guys that can go. Samoa Joe, man, he might be the best big man that could go. Like, he could do anything that he was doing, cruiserweight type things, and then he was doing like, you know, big show type things. Maybe not big show, but you know what I'm saying. Like he could pick anybody up, and then he could also like jump over the rope. And yeah, Samoa Joe's just the man, and he's funny. And then that when he like just moves out of the way when they jump at him, so funny. And then
We were there for the only
What?
time he did that in WWE.
oh yeah, we were, huh?
Yeah, at the Rumble.
That's crazy. But yeah, Samoa Joe's just the man, and I feel like even outside of the ring, like with like his acting and like voice acting and body acting, I guess, for Sweet Tooth, he's just like, I feel like he's also just like such a cool dude. Like, no one has a bad thing to say about him behind the scenes. So I feel like for me, growing up watching TNA and then NXT, he's definitely high up on my list.
Teddy Hart has a bad thing to say about him.
Who's that?
He's the Hart. He's part of the Hart family, but nobody claims him.
Oh, why would he say about him?
He basically just called him like fake punk or something like he challenged him to a fight, and he was like Samoa Joe coward like a girl or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Samoa Joe's probably like, I have no idea what that guy's talking about. I'm not even gonna acknowledge it.
But all I have to say about this is he's fat.
Dude's got style.
So dumb. But that promo where he was like, where like Brock looked away from him, and he was like, "You look at me when I'm talking to you," and Brock like actually looked scared. That's how good Joe is on the mic.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I don't got anything to add.
7. It's Kurt Angle. Kurt nowhere would have been. He would not have been close to my top 50 as a kid because I hated him so much. This man was so
Really?
good. No, he was so good. As a kid, you thought you could whoop an Olympic gold medalist because he was always getting stomped. But no, man, Kurt is just way too funny, dude. That promo he cut on that promo, like that fake interview he did with The Rock, is hilarious, man.
Dude, yeah, that's so good.
And all his little shenanigans. Sure, he's a piece of monkey crap and a jabroni. Whoa, that's a little stiff, isn't it, Rock?
Chris getting like right up in his face when he was talking about when he was talking to Eddie about him. It's so funny. Kurt can just like have this such dumb guy look on his face, and like you actually believe that's how dumb Kurt is. It's just the best.
Yeah. Dude, Kurt's, man.
But he always beat your favorite wrestlers, man. That's how he could turn it on like that. He was that good.
Yeah, Kurt was the man. I'll have more to say about him later.
6. I got Seth Rollins. I don't love his current character. I think he's kind of like soured it.
It's so funny because I feel like most people you ask would say he's on the best road of his career.
I am so sick of this character. All he is the freaking conductor in a band, and like that's literally what his whole character is at the moment. And then, but right before that, when he was laughing in everyone's face, like that year 1 build-up, or day 1 build-up, when he was supposed to face Big E, hilarious, man. Like where he was like, first Kevin cried his way into the match, then Brock bullied his way into the match, and then Bobby, like when all these guys just kept jumping in. It was hilarious. Seth, and he's a good wrestler. He can like go with anybody.
Yeah.
Messiah was good. Shield was good. He was just good. Seth's the man to me. Best chance to get in my Mount Rushmore.
Rob.
Very fair.
Okay.
In some ways, Seth almost seems like a current day Jericho to me. It seems like no matter what he does, he can get it over. It might take a while, but he'll get there. And even something silly or insignificant he'll find a way to get it popular. And he can go in the ring just like Jericho used to. He can have his funny moments. He can be good on the mic. He's just there to do whatever he has to do.
Yeah, that's kind of why I respect Seth a little more than like CM Punk, because yeah, Seth will like cry about it a little bit, but he never lets it get in the way of his work, and he will still make it work. Whatever he's given, he'll try to make it work at least.
Fair.
But back to you.
Right. This is 6, right?
Yep.
Alright, I fought these next 2. I fought really hard, just like who to put above the other, and it kind of just came down to like whose character do I like the best. So 6, I got Cena. As a kid, man, Cena was like, I guess it was as a kid, but it was like, you know, like age like 8 to like 12. Cena was like the dude for me. I wanted all his shirts so bad. The spinner belt so cool. And I feel like he's always cut a good promo, whether he was like doing the rap stuff, you know, and then like later on, like I was saying, like he'd start like tearing into people like Roman and Miz and even like Alberto Del Rio and Dolph Ziggler, and what he's done for the company after like the Attitude Era and kind of keeping it still super popular, and then like switching to PG, and he had to kind of change from his thug gimmick to like soldier Cena, whatever you want to call him. But it's like, yeah, he got stale for a minute, but then I feel like he was able to ride through that and become good again and be like respected again, and then like have great matches with like AJ and Kevin Owens and all these younger guys coming up. So Cena just has like, I feel like he would definitely be on my Mount Rushmore for sure.
But you don't have him in your Mount Rushmore.
I mean, if we're talking like wrestling Mount Rushmore, not
Oh,
my favorite.
okay.
Like,
I was like, what?
yeah.
No, I mean, I can't hate any of that. We agree on that he got stale for a little bit, but it's not like I never didn't want Cena there, just not
Yeah,
as champ
that's the
every
thing
time.
is like with him coming back sometimes it just feels different when Cena's there. Like it's like you didn't realize it when he was there every week, but now it's like, man, Cena being there is like a big deal, and like you said earlier, like he could like make a big match out of anything with his like promos.
Yep.
His mouth.
Yeah.
I already said my piece on Cena. So. If
Alright,
Robert
so
has
then-
anything.
Nope.